Right now, you can destroy boredom in less than 5 seconds. You open your phone, scroll for a while, watch something random, reply to a message, and suddenly the silence is gone. But here's a strange question almost nobody asks. What happened when ancient humans got bored? Not kings, not philosophers, not people living in giant cities. We're talking about humans long before civilization existed. 50,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago. Back when there were no books, no games, no internet, no music apps, not even proper houses. Just small groups of humans sitting around fires with hours of empty time and absolutely nothing to distract themselves with. And strangely enough, that may have been one of the most important things that ever happened to our species. Because boredom didn't just waste time. It may have created storytelling, art, music, religion, and maybe even human imagination itself. But first, there's a problem with that idea. Were ancient humans even capable of getting bored? For decades, scientists assumed the answer was no. Life was too difficult. Every day was survival. Hunting animals, finding water, avoiding predators, surviving cold nights. There shouldn't have been any free time left over for boredom. But that assumption turned out to be completely wrong. In the 1960s, anthropologists studying hunter-gatherer societies discovered something unexpected. Many groups only spent a few hours a day collecting food. The rest of the time they rested, socialized, wandered around, and sat together doing very little at all. Ancient humans had something modern humans barely have anymore: silence. And once you have silence, the human mind starts doing something very dangerous. It starts inventing things. The first thing ancient humans did when they got bored was decorate things. This sounds pointless. That's because it was. Around 100,000 years ago, humans living in caves along the coast of southern Africa started collecting small shells. They drilled tiny holes through them, rubbed them with red pigment, and turned them into necklaces. Archaeologists later discovered these beads inside caves that had no signs of danger or emergency nearby. Nobody was starving. Nobody was fighting predators. Someone simply spent hours making jewelry because they felt like it. And that changes the way we think about early humans. Because survival alone does not create decoration. Free time does. And making those beads would have been painfully slow. Imagine trying to punch a perfect hole through a shell using only a sharpened rock. No metal tools, no machines, no modern distractions shortening your attention span. Just sitting near a fire for hours, repeating the same tiny movement again and again. Ancient humans were patient in a way modern humans can barely imagine. Because boredom gave them something modern humans almost never experience anymore: long stretches of uninterrupted thought. The same thing happened with cave paintings. In places like Lascaux Cave and Chauvet Cave, humans covered walls with giant paintings of animals, handprints, hunting scenes, and strange symbols. Some of these paintings were made more than 30,000 years ago. And here's the strange part. Many of them were hidden deep inside caves where nobody even lived. To reach them, people had to crawl through narrow tunnels carrying fire. Why would anyone do that? There was no practical reason. The paintings didn't help them hunt better. They didn't keep them warm. But they filled empty time with imagination. Boredom may have pushed humans underground and turned cave walls into the first movie. Screens in history. The same pattern appears in games. Archaeologists have found evidence of ancient humans throwing carved bones, stones, and sticks in ways that resemble dice and gambling games. Even children played. Tiny footprints discovered inside prehistoric caves show kids running, sliding, and climbing through tunnels thousands of years ago. They weren't working. They were exploring for fun. Because once survival needs are met, the brain immediately starts searching for stimulation. Play is not separate from intelligence. Play is how intelligence grows. And eventually boredom created music. In a cave in Germany, researchers discovered a flute carved from bird bone. Nearly 40,000 years ago, it had carefully placed finger holes designed to create different notes. Think about what that means. Someone sat in silence long enough to experiment with sound until random noise became melody. Music wasn't necessary for survival. Nobody needs rhythm to hunt deer. But humans invented it anyway because the brain hates emptiness. When there is nothing happening outside, the mind begins creating something inside. But boredom did something even more important than art or music. It created stories. Imagine a group of humans sitting around a fire after sunset. No phones, no books, no distractions at all. Darkness everywhere except the flames. Eventually someone starts talking. Maybe about a hunt that almost went wrong. Maybe about strange lights in the sky. Maybe about spirits hiding in the forest. and suddenly everyone is listening. That moment changed human history forever, because stories do something survival alone cannot. They connect people emotionally. Anthropologists believe storytelling helped humans cooperate in larger groups than any other animal on Earth. A story can spread fear, teach lessons, create traditions, and make strangers trust each other. Religion, myths, legends, even modern movies all come from the same ancient behavior. People sitting together with empty time and wandering minds. Modern psychology actually supports this. Studies show boredom activates the brain's default mode network, the same system linked to creativity, memory, and imagination. When humans stop reacting to constant stimulation, the brain begins generating ideas on its own. Ancient humans didn't become creative despite boredom. They became creative because of it. The silence forced the mind to explore itself. And somewhere inside that silence, humans stopped being just animals trying to survive and became something entirely different. So, here's where we've ended up. Tens of thousands of years ago, someone sitting in a cave with nothing to do started carving patterns into bone. Someone else painted animals on a wall deep underground, where almost nobody would ever see them. Somewhere later, another person picked up a hollow bird bone, blew through it, and accidentally created music. And somewhere in between all of that, humans sitting around fires began telling stories about spirits, monsters, stars, death, and worlds beyond their own. Some of those stories became myths. Some became religion. Some became science. And some eventually became the thoughts running through your own mind late at night, while you stare at the ceiling doing absolutely nothing. Here's the strange part. Modern neuroscience now says those quiet moments may be some of the most important moments your brain ever has. When the brain is not focused on survival or stimulation, something else turns on. Scientists call it the default mode network. It's the system connected to imagination, creativity, memory, and self-reflection. In other words, the brain becomes most human when it has nothing to react to. And ancient humans had a lot of silence. No notifications. No endless videos. No constant noise filling every empty second. Just long nights, crackling fires, and wandering thoughts. That's the environment the human mind evolved in. Not constant stimulation. Silence. So every time you get bored and immediately reach for your phone, you're interrupting a process humans spent hundreds of thousands of years developing. But every once in a while, if you resist that urge and simply sit there while your mind wanders, you're doing the exact same thing ancient humans were doing in those caves. The same thing that created stories, music, art, and imagination in the first place. Boredom wasn't a problem ancient humans had to escape. It may have been the reason humans became human at all.